Counting down. Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 159, being recorded on the 15th of December, 2018. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and Happy Hanukkah. Or Hanukkah just ended last Monday, so I apologize. We're
Happy times for all.
Happy times and all that, and I have not even done all my even a single ounce of my Christmas shopping with about 11 days to spare.
Yeah, and you've not even started, you saying?
No, I have not. I have not. I've got my own family, when they always ask me about like what do you want us to get you for the holidays, and as of course, as a kid, it's like you always have these very huge lists or whatever, given what family you grew up with. And now as I got older, I'm just like, can I just have some, I'm literally saying, can I just have some new socks and some new undershirts and just some clothes that will keep me warm? It's that. And then I'll be like under my breath saying like, can you sneak in a game in there for me or something? I don't know. It's but it's really
or at least an amiibo or two.
An amiibo,
perfect stocking filler.
I have never asked for an amiibo. I feel like they would not even understand what that is, and I feel like they get something wrong with it. But I actually did pick up a new amiibo this week, and that is, of course, if I move over here to the side.
Go on. I generally don't know what this amiibo is.
It's my Ridley amiibo.
Of course, it was Metroid related.
Yes, look how detailed he is, and I know for the people in the video chat right there, I'm actually moving him really well. So
yeah, it's hard to tell without the scale. I assume it's quite a big amiibo.
It actually is. I mean, not as heavy, but it's pretty widened out, whatever. But again, with most amiibo, I always worry about breaking them because some I still have in the box because I don't want them. I feel like there's going to be at one point if I had them all out, and then like one night when I'm out at the bars and I'm just like really stumbling in, and I'll just go by my desk and just and I'm like
the next on top of them all.
The next morning I wake up in a hungover daze going like, what happened? did I get robbed?
All these broken plastic swords everywhere.
Jeez. But
the best part is when you realize they're all sticking inside you.
Man. But I did hear that there's a certain video game that everybody's playing right now on the Switch. But what is that though?
Something about the brothers.
The brothers. The get hooked on the brothers or the plumbers, as they say in the show.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that Mario Brothers game everyone's playing.
Yeah, something. They usually come out something like that. But no. Besides, though, we did have. Did you by any chance watch the Game Awards last week?
I did not, unfortunately. Like timing wise, so over here wasn't that great. I think it started like 2 a.m, possibly.
Yeah, it's 7:30 here, where my central time. But I was at work, so I was just like kind of scrolling through Twitter. I mean, I have my reservations with. Let me start over. I have my reservations with the Game Awards because, let's just kind of say right now, when you have an award that has kind of basically taken on a Madden curse of its own with the Trending Gamer Award, and you kind of feel like it gets to that point where like, can you like stop nominating some of these people that have really troubled past on the internet? Because I mean, I don't know. The only person
they changed the naming at least for that category this year, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Best esports, or
I did like though that the best esports player for the year went to Sonic Fox, and the fact that a furry won basically the award, I found it was very interesting and yet hilarious. But good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I saw a couple clips from the Game Awards. That was one of them. Him taking his award and giving his speech. The other was the introduction to the Game Awards. Jeff Keighley to the Game Awards.
Yeah, because he had said the lead up to it that he's been wanting to do something for like the last few years, and they finally pulled it off. And they said it wasn't like game reveal related, and I'm like, what could this be? And yeah, what was it again?
All right, so we had the heads of Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft on the stage together, and they gave essentially the kickstart introduction to the Game Awards with this nice piece about bringing the game industry together benefits everyone. And yeah, you had Reggie and Phil Spencer and the Sony guy, all three of them together.
Are we really blinking on the Sony guy right now? I feel embarrassed to myself.
I don't feel too embarrassed.
I'm gonna look his name up. As somebody who follows the game,
he was the least impressive for the three.
Yeah, they're all great. They're all great people on there when it comes to it, and it was nice to see something like that. Like all of them all together. I was like, wow,
But,
this is.
but yeah, those were the two clips I saw.
I'm trying to figure out who this one is, but no, I just found it. No, I found it. Again, I apologize for the Sean Layden. Sean Layden. That's who it was. So again, everybody in the comment section always hit me up in terms of like, oh, you didn't know who this is. I'm like, I'm sorry. Some names I just don't know, especially when it comes to Sony.
Nah,
I knew about.
Throw that my way. I'm the one who is dismissing him. I still do.
They're still good people. Whatever. But we did get some reveals. I know that. But sadly, we did not get any news on a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD or a look at Prime 4 or even Bayonetta 3. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
We had some other announcements. So yeah, I think first up we had, and this is new for Nintendo at least. New for recent era Nintendo. Mortal Kombat 11.
Yes.
What was announced, and it is also coming to the Switch. And so this is quite cool on a couple of different fronts. One, it is cool to have a modern Mortal Kombat game on the Switch. It's also cool to see the Switch version be announced just as standard alongside the other platforms.
Yep, release date, all that. You said you knew the game was announced right there, but you did not see the trailer.
I've not seen the trailer for 11.
I've
seen the recent so Mortal Kombat like X and 9. So I know the sort of style it's going for, but I've not seen 11 itself. I've heard people talk about it who have seen it. I've got secondhand reactions. So tell me about it then, if you've seen it.
Yeah, it just kind of. Well, I mean, I saw brief, like I was in the middle of the night when I watched it, and I only saw it once. Basically, it just shows, I believe, someone. I'm assuming it's Raiden, but fighting off with somebody that does look like Scorpion, and then he wins that fight, and then the next thing you know, at the end, you see another Scorpion basically coming in and just blow Raiden apart, and then all you see is a part of his like spine there, and that which comes over to his usual get over here, and then it ends with like you're next. I'm like, okay. And then as soon as I saw the Switch logo, I'm like, yes, finally, this on the same day. And this is coming in April, I believe, too. So
awesome.
No, there was a game I know at the beginning. I know we don't have a list on the notes, but it's called it's a racing game called Sayonara Wild Hearts. And it's got the info right here. Where is it at? It's done by Simogo, a Swedish studio, and they were the people that did these cult hits called Device 6 and The Sailor's Dream. And the way I could describe this one is incredibly stylish, and it's and this is quote what it's described as, quote, a euphoric music video dream about being awesome, riding motorcycles, skateboarding, dancing, battling, shooting lasers, wielding swords, and breaking hearts at 200 miles per hour. That's the quote.
That's quite the quote. That's got my attention. I need to find some visuals to go alongside audio description.
Looks good.
Yeah, talking about racing games, though, there was another racing game announced.
What was that? I think I forgot about that.
Oh, it's Crash Team Racing.
That was the one I forgot.
To the Switch.
Yeah, and I've noticed that the internet has kind of gotten a bit of their think pieces about this, about Crash Team Racing, and I kind of somewhat agree with them, saying about how Crash Team Racing was better than Mario Kart 64. I know that's sacrilege, but it's like I look back at Mario Kart 64 and say there have been far better Mario Karts past this one.
Well, true, but
it's still fun. I know, but it's like,
yeah, we shall see. I mean, it's cool because we've still not. I mean, it was rumored for a while. We've still not had any confirmation that the Crash trilogy is coming to the Switch, right?
Wait,
or have I messed that up? Has it been out now for a while?
No, you're right. Crash trilogy has already been out for a while, man.
It is. I got that mixed with Spyro, which was rumored heavily, and nothing's happened, right?
Yeah, that already happened, I believe.
On the Switch?
Yeah, it's on here.
Oh,
unless I'm just very.
One of us is going a little bit loopy, and I think it might be me.
No, I am loopy as it can be right now when it comes to it. I mean, we haven't recorded in a while.
I'm saying no Spyro on the Switch currently.
Well, from last month, it said it was not currently slated for Switch, and it's just kind of gone missing.
All right. So
Yeah.
Spyro is missing in action, but Crashes on the Switch, very popular, and Crash Team Racing also coming out. So the interesting thing is like, do we think after the success of the trilogy
Mhm.
on various platforms, is it certain that Crash Team Racing is going to be a hit? I would
I'm a,
like. I think that's the safe money would say. Yeah, that's going to do pretty well that game.
yeah, I assume so when it comes to something like this. It generally did have a very good success rate there. So, yeah, I mean, and plus I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do. Well, no, I mean, this is coming to Switch, obviously, but it's like, what is this going to be? Um, will this have the same effect? Because I was kind of very mum on the Crash games, just because I'm glad they existed, but I was just like, it just wasn't my thing for me. But I know there's people that actually do care about it.
Yeah, nah, never touched a Crash game myself.
Long time ago,
Um,
I did. Mhm.
yeah. So we also had, and this is not another oddball one, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So this is being published by Nintendo, is exclusive for the Switch, and is being developed by Team Ninja.
Of all, that's what caught me by surprise in there.
It's
I
a
only
curious
played the
combination.
yeah, I have only played the first one, and when I saw that Marvel logo, I was immediately kind of taken aback, thinking, well, it was after when they showed the Switch logo, and then it came to Marvel. I was thinking, wait, is this the Square Enix Marvel Avengers game that
Hmm.
that's been rumored? But no, that turned out not to be the case.
So yeah, so this is all sorts of weird, but it's cool. The fact that Nintendo's publishing it means they're going to be pushing this one, obviously, and this could be quite a big deal for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the thing I find strange is with them publishing it is why it is Ultimate Alliance 3 and not like just a new like their own game, as it were, their own series.
Like as in Nintendo doing their own type of like dungeon crawler type of
Oh no, I just meant like using the Marvel license, but not making it Ultimate Alliance 3, making it like their own design,
mhm.
making it a new name because it is it's carrying on from something which like wasn't their creation sort of thing.
You're saying from okay, I know what you mean as far as think back.
Like
Yeah, I
especially
don't.
if they're the ones publishing it, as it were.
Mhm. I guess
But yeah,
the
maybe it's just a like a solid template in terms of it's easier to predict the numbers of how well this will do because 1 and 2 exist.
yeah. Well, that and I mean, Team Ninja has actually helped. I mean, they've been around with like Nintendo. Well, working with things like Fire Emblem Warriors and Hyrule Warriors, and of course Metroid Other M. So it does make sense for them to kind of partner up again.
Nah, definitely.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's again, this is another easy bet, easy money here. This one's gonna do you good. Put some chips on Ultimate Alliance 3.
Mhm.
And then we've got some Smash news.
Yes,
So we've got a
this.
big Smash discussion, but before we get there, we've got a lovely transition for you. We've got
Mhm.
some Smash news coming from the Game Awards. Another new character is on the way. It's not Piranha Plant. He's not here yet, but there's another one announced, and that
Oh,
is.
speaking of Piranha Plant, did you download your game digitally or
I did.
okay,
It's
okay, did you make
preloaded,
sure
so we're good with Automac.
all right, did you make sure to get your code because apparently Nintendo has been hiding those like in one of the emails where people have accidentally deleted them because they just didn't feel like I don't know. I I deleted
I
mine
will
by
double
act.
check, but I don't believe I need to do anything with having preloaded it
Yeah,
or just buying it digitally anyway.
I
I
think it
think
was
it's
just a
automatic.
yeah. I mean, it was weird, but I had to make sure that I had it. Just like, oh, okay, it's there, so whatever. But
So
yeah,
yeah,
we got for the Game Awards, we got after a month after Sakurai had said that Nintendo had come forth had given them the five, like they suggested the five characters to Sakurai for him. It wasn't him initially who decided, it was Nintendo who come forward. Hey, he's the characters we want you to do, and to see if you could get a move set for these DLC characters. And not even less than a month later, we get a trailer, not gameplay of the character, just a stylish trailer, and it's something I didn't expect. I did not expect to see a character revealed this early. I said going in, I said 100% like no, it's too early. We'll probably figure it out this during a direct next year.
no, agreed. Yeah, I thought it was way too early, especially again with them having announced Piranha Plant but not having delivered on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah. This is
But for the listeners, tell who it is.
all right.
They all we all know. We all know. We
Just in case you don't, this probably won't help. But Joker from Persona 5. So the protagonist from Persona 5, that game which didn't actually come out on the Nintendo system, but apparently is very good.
Very good and very long. So if you've
Very
got about
colourful.
yeah, and very colorful. Love the style to that. But it's very long. From what I've heard, its average time of completion from people who have told me at least over 100 hours, and that's what scares me away. But yeah, knowing this, okay, I felt like Cloud was such a big surprise, and in this case with the Joker from Persona 5, I didn't really expect it. But then you kind of realize, Atlas is very tight with Nintendo in terms of like collaboration, not collaboration, but other projects and such. And with us handling Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming out soon, that was a case to it. So plus, I don't know, it's more of these other titles that have not necessarily, like, a game itself has not appeared in a Nintendo console. And well, I know one Persona game I think has appeared in the 3DS or something, unless I'm mistaken. And
there's definitely been spin-offs. I'm not sure about the actual numbered ones.
There are, and I can only say is like this only opens the door. Like, well, after the reveal, Reggie was talking to Jeff Keighley after the reveal on stage, and they said the characters that are coming in this DLC, like the 5 DLC packs, these are going to be characters that are going to be new to the series. So I'm just going to say this now. This wipes everything off the table. I mean, everything's open for game right now. And you know what? Those people who are asking for Goku, probably, even though he's only never played in a video period, he's never started. He's not a video game character. He's a manga character. You know what? He could be in there. I don't care. I know there's definitely going to be a Fire Emblem character because that's the easiest bet in the world.
True. How about a Marvel character now they got this Disney contract wrapped up?
Well, oh yeah, I keep forgetting that's happening right now. You know what? I suggested as far as another Square character, they could do Sora. And some friends of mine at work were like, "Hey, you have to go through like Disney and all that." I'm like, you know what?
Well, they're publishing Marvel Ultimate Alliance. There you go. That's already been dealt with.
Yeah, there is that. So, I don't know. The field's open. We don't know who it could be. I also do like how the character that is in for this one, the Joker, the American version, he's voiced by Xander Mobus, who is also the announcer for Smash Brothers. So I find that very, 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 very neat and like a nice coincidence, unless he pulled some strings.
Yeah, the old puppeteering.
Yeah, but we don't know when this is coming. All we know is that it's the first Challenger pack. It's going to give us a set of music stages, and my only guess, I know making these characters like this take time. So let's just say the first quarter or a little bit after, because
I think it was quite telling that in the announcement trailer for the character, we didn't actually see any gameplay of the character in use.
We did not. We just
saw. Which makes me feel it's going to be the first character is going to be somewhat off. Mm-hmm. So I think is Piranha Plant in January? We're getting him.
Yes, it is February.
Yeah, so I reckon probably second quarter, and then they'll start rolling out at a more steady pace, very possibly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We shall see that.
But yeah, speaking of Smash new characters, DLC, we can't talk about that without discussing the game itself.
Well, of course not. And that is our feature for this week. It's all about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Switch, which we've both been playing. We haven't spoke about it since it's come out, at least not on the show. And not really, to be completely honest. So let's start with I've been playing quite a lot of Smash Bros. Just to check, Harrison, have you been playing a lot of Smash Bros?
Yeah. Have we all?
Check. Fantastic. Good to hear. Good chat. Good day.
Good day.
No, there is a bit more to digest. So I guess the first thing is it's like what we've been playing. I've been playing a lot of classic mode. What have you been playing as a general thing?
Well, I'll first start off say right now, I actually had I downloaded my game digitally, and I was working late night, and the game became available I think 11 or midnight, unless I feel like it's different with certain time zones here. But again, I've had people, but regardless, I get home late from a shift from work, and I just have a few my my neighbor and my roommate waiting, just like, all right, can we play now? Like, just because they wanted to start playing and unlocking characters. And I will say right now, when we played versus mode, God, was I rusty? I was incredibly rusty, especially playing as Samus. And I've been playing a combination of classic mode, also some online versus mode as well. It's and I will say, yeah, there's some little bit bugginess to it, lag, but I've been able to manage myself. And but I've also been playing I've been playing World of Light, which to me, we'll get more into detail about that a little bit later and what you thought about it, but that's one where I've been going as far as trying to unlock characters.
Oh, interesting. I've not actually played much of World of Light yet. I've started off. I've probably played a handful, probably maybe a bit more of actual battles, so not really much at all. Most of my time has been split between classic mode, as in just clearing classic mode of each character, because I'm finding that very satisfying on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And a mix between local and online, just smash.
Yeah. No, I am really, really liking in the basically into the but like the classic mode, how certain ways that they're doing this is that they don't have mastery at the end. There'll be sometimes like you'll have a like beast form Ganon or even Dracula, but I do like the theming of each one on there. Like for instance, what I want to say, there'll be like for Samus, whatever, it'll just basically be like, hey, I'm going against these bounties and things like this, whatever. And it's not randomized characters that you go through, but it's just like a set things that you go through, kind of a theming. It's not so much, but it's a little breaks up things that we've seen in the past games, like the monotony of it. And then I do like how Pac-Man is just like you go through the ages of the year. So it starts from like 1981 to all the way to throughout the classic era up to like the late 90s or the late 80s. So that one I really liked a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I am enjoying about classic mode is, yeah, they do have their own like titled theme to them, where before it was just this either set or somewhat random, but no like real logic to it, and like not real much reason to play for it with all different characters. But unless it's nice having that rewarding like choose your difficulty and also like bet against yourself and how well you think you're going to do, and just seeing like what creative way they come up with for like telling this tale, as simple as it is with this character, with the preset characters they've got to work with, and some of them they do pull like unique bosses in, which is really cool. Like Kirby has a very cool unique boss, as you might expect, but a bunch of characters do, and it's really surprising because classic mode usually was just you do your fights and you fight Master Hand. And some of these like boss fights are kind of like actual boss fights where they do have some sort of trick to them. It's not just a matter of depleting their health. There's like a part of their body which is going to actually strike them damage and they will be immune.
Yeah, I did appreciate how they actually have a health bar in there as opposed to like, doing a stamina meter, but that's just like nice little aesthetic. Like I like it's the one thing I really like here is the presentation to this, and especially when you get to once you choose your characters, and then it just kind of goes into like who's versing who, whatever, and just it's very just like fiery. And you just see the glare from the eyes. It's almost just like an old school pay-per-view event you see from WWE, and I'm just like, oh, I just love this so much.
Yeah, and it's very fast. It's quick and it's snappy. Whereas I feel like a lot of fighting games, there's quite just a bit of loading between going from like character screen to the fight. But in classic mode, you can really go between like it showing you versus you and like the theme to the fight, and then to the next thing, then to the next thing in quite quick succession. Like you can do like a classic mode in like about 5 minutes or so, and you're doing like more fights than there are minutes involved. And yeah, it's nice that difficulty thing. So when you get defeated, it will knock you back. If you start doing really well, it's going to keep making it increasingly more difficult for you until it's too difficult.
I have to say right now, as of right now, how many characters have you unlocked so far?
I knew you'd ask, so I prepped in advance. 62.
62. I am my Switch is not near me right now, but I know I'm near in I want to say 46, 45 characters. Okay. But I have unlocked my precious purple space dragon of death, Ridley, and And everybody asked me like, what skin do you use? Well, obviously the Meta Ridley skin. I'm not going to. And as far as the new characters right now, the one I had the most fun with aside from Ridley, Simon Belmont and both Richter. They are a lot of fun to play as.
I've not played as them, but they are fun to play against. That much I can vouch for. Because it does feel like, as silly as it is, just playing against those characters from those games, like they feel like those characters. Like when they jump and do the whip arc, as it were, it looks like it is just ripped from that game. It's beautifully done.
I will definitely say this, that Isabel is the flippin' devil. Anytime when I try to face that character, whether it's in World of Light or even an online random match, the devil. I don't know. There's just something about that grab mood with the fly fishing grab mood where I'm just like, I can't. This is gonna make me mad so much, isn't it?
Actually, and that raises an interesting point. So the new challenger approaches bit that has been adjusted recently.
Yeah, I saw it was, but what is it exactly? I didn't.
It's been made easier as part of the 1.2 patch, which dropped today, amongst other things. So the question is, how challenging was it to unlock the challenges before that dropped?
How challenging? Wait, how challenging it was?
Yeah, so when you got a new challenger approaches and you have to fight them to win the character, were you having much difficulty with that?
I only had a few times on there. I feel like it just ebb and flows in terms of like, well, like there'd be some characters where it's like, okay, that's easy pickings, but then there'd be like, wow, why is this one putting up quite a challenge to me? That one was being Meta Knight, and I want to say my first go around with Ridley. So, but thankfully, this is another addition that they did was a Challenger's Approach, I believe, and it's if you lose. Basically, if you lose, when you get challenged to like a new character and you have to unlock them, but you lose to that new character and you don't have to repeat the old process again. I believe it's after you lose to like multiple characters, like 2, then it opens up in the games
and more section. Yeah, the little doors open.
You get to challenge it. You get to challenge it again, but with a different character. So
exactly, yeah, you can choose who you're facing, opposed to like, say, you unlocked at the end of classic mode. You would obviously be facing it with, that same character you chose to beat classic mode and not necessarily, in quotes, your main. So yeah, that's a cool feature. And I have to admit, it would really depend on the character. Like some of them seem pretty fair fights, but others were the real challenges. And I guess, like the name should suggest, I had particular issue with King DDD. It took me many times returning to the doors to re-challenge him to actually beat him. He really, he gave me a lot of pain. I did. I'm glad I beat him before the patch dropped, though, because I had the satisfaction of obviously smashing him off the stage correctly and doing a little G afterwards.
But I had to say, as far as like, pardon the pun of what it says in the title, this is the ultimate experience you see as far as Smash, and I know that this is one kind of a bit of a complaint I saw from the weekend, is that you saw one contingent of people who were, like me. I was fine. I was happy with unlocking all the characters. Could I because it's better to have that as opposed to all of them at once. Although I do kind of wish there were a couple levels that you had to unlock, like say for the newer characters or these new stages. Like say when you unlock Simon Belmont, that's the only way you can get his stage, or or you have to beat. Yeah, anything like that. But again, with the characters, I'm fine with this. It's just the approach of what you do with it. And I can kind of understand, empathize with people who are very, I won't say upset, they're just a little annoyed that they had to do this. But I don't know. I feel like that's the beauty of it right now, because it gives me a chance to try out some of these new characters. And that's the same way I did with like an World of Light, which we'll get more into. But if I had just one little tweak, I would say what they started out with was too small. I get starting out with the original 8 from the N64 version of the Smash Brothers. I personally would have gone with 12, as in with the original 8, but the 4 characters
with
that were
unlocks.
Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff, Ness, and Luigi. I feel like that would have been a nice little ground, or even like 14. But again, that's still a lot of characters to unlock, though. Plus more that are coming right now in DLC. It's just, as soon as I just saw that roster just continuing to pile up on there, I'm like, this is just massive. And
I think that's partly why it was done the way it is, because I'm getting to the stage where those character icons are getting small, even on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And if it just started with the 70 plus characters, that would just be very intimidating for people who aren't like the incredibly Nintendo hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
If they fire up this Nintendo Party game and they just are like staring at this like wall of icons and they have to decipher who's who, maybe it is better that they just get these 8 big faces they recognize to begin with, and it just gets added to the more they play, because it doesn't matter which mode they're playing, really. If they're just playing Smash, they'll unlock them. If they're playing Classic, they'll unlock them. If they're playing for the story mode, they'll unlock them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find it's a nice loop for me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing I do like about fighting games, because I never get particularly good at them amongst the actual real people. So I usually kind of have just fun in unlocking the content.
Mm-hmm.
And I find once I've unlocked what I consider the most important content, it will start to lose interest to me. And so I'm not saying that's going to be one-to-one with Smash, but I am enjoying unlocking all these characters currently.
Oh, I am.
And I'm ending up spending a lot of time doing it.
I will definitely say that I have kind of done what some people have been exploiting. Like if you're just playing Smash matches, like regular Smash, and the way everything kind of it does a bit of a reset. You can unlock characters through just playing regular matches, but I believe, you essentially can unlock these characters through, like, I believe it's through every 10 minutes of a match, and this is not spent in time in menus. And what some people will do is, once you finish, say, a match, and then the character icon says a challenger appears, you beat that character, then, say, what people will do is that they exploit it is they go to the menu and they close the game outside and then restart it and then go to a match, and then they have 2-player, they lose purposely, then they face it. So I knew some people were doing that, but I was like, I want to have fun unlocking these at least over the week. So that's me. But I do want to ask though, have you had any trouble with anything with online?
I've had a few. I don't think I've ever had a match just drop completely. I've had some moments of lag, of noticeable lag, but most of my experience has been good.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, it's really, really good on there. Mine, it's been half and half though, but I know that there was recently a patch like that they did for Hero 4 because people were, because there's not for fun or from Lord Glory mode, unless that's unless I'm misreading that you had to kind of.
No, you are correct. No, it's all kind of combined into one. There's this like a kind of for glory mode, which you have to kind of be almost invited to, depending if your global smash power gets high enough. It will just appear as this like exclusive mode for the high tier. But no, apart from that, it's just like this big pool of preferred rules.
And I know that there was some people that were like they're not getting the matches that they request for as far as their likes, and I think that again this patch actually helps that a little bit. Again, I haven't tested it out yet.
That's right. Well, that's what he claims to do. Yeah, that's on the
hopefully
the patch notes, which is new to Smash, having patch notes.
Yeah, and hopefully that's the case when it comes to it. Is again, it seems that with each iteration of Smash and Brawl, it's like, hey, it can't get any worse. So it's just progressively getting better. It just seems very slowly in terms of each iteration. But I don't know. Again, people are paying for this right now online with the Nintendo Switch Online. So hopefully that does get better with the process. But again, I wouldn't. Yeah. But I guess
my experience has been good at the very least. So yeah, I've not had a single game where like the actual game was lost due to a connection. It slowed things down, but that's definitely been the minority of matches. Most of them have been absolutely fine.
But I think it does serve time. We have to talk about the new adventure mode, and that is World of Light. Have you beat it?
No, definitely not. I've not actually done much of World of Light.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through, but I'm actually surprisingly having a little bit of fun with it. I do.
That is good to hear.
I mean, I know that there are a few that I talk to that don't. The way with this one, like collecting these different spirits that you have in the match, whatever, which have their different, likes and like their different attributes to each of these characters that they attach to. So, And when it comes to my own little spirit teams that I have with all these different JPEGs of official art from various Nintendo and third-party games that come into it, I don't know. I'm just kind of having fun just discovering it. Again, my only disappointment knowing I understand why they got rid of trophies, because when you're developing a game like this, you're putting other resources to just basically making these virtual little things that go into like a virtual desktop on there. They're nice, but all those other resources I'm kind of glad have been put elsewhere into the game. My one complaint, though, as far as these spirits, though, is it does tell you what series they're from. I just kind of wish that they would have put like descriptors on there, kind of like what we see with trophies. And I kind of get that things with localization that cost money to do. But I mean, if there was one thing they asked me that if you could possibly do, like I just like reading the little snippets on there. I really, really do. And I know through the loading screens, Nintendo has like the Smash Brothers game has like the characters like from like, oh, this character first appeared in this game in like 1990 and blah blah blah, and you can access those as well. But for these spirits, because there's some out there, I'm like, there's very, I mean, I know we all know the obscure Nintendo games, but I feel like there's some out there where I'm like, I don't remember this character, and it's like I really like a blur. But again, that's what the internet's for. I could just look up so and so.
That's true. No, I agree with you. It would be nice because, as simple as it was, yeah, to add descriptions to the spirits. I think that moment's gone. But yeah, that would have been cool. Like without even having that 3D model, like fine, have the image, have a little description next to it, and I think that's basic. I think that's what most people just want out of trophies anyway. However, we don't have that, but we do have a lot more spirits than we ever have had trophies.
There are over 1,000, I believe.
Yeah, I think there's nearly 2,000.
Oh wow!
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's like 1,900 and something, or 1,800 and something. Is in that ballpark at the very least. So yeah, I've played a few matches of the adventure mode, but I've been gaining spirits through classic mode. So it'll be interesting when I jump back into spirits, because I'll have a bunch of spirits unlocked through classic mode, which I'll be be able to level up and just use in general. And I wonder if it will make what it will do to the like design difficulty curve at least. Have you been finding the difficulty through spirit mode?
I have definitely encountered some spirit team, like some spirits in the game. For instance, Sakura from Fire Emblem Fates. That was one early on that I couldn't stand because you're facing this opponent that's clearly tougher or whatever, and they always have a way to regenerate, like to basically heal themselves. So it doesn't matter. I could get them like half, like 50%, and then next thing you know, if they're just going down to 30, I'm just like, what gives? I'm just sitting there just spamming attack until to get it done. But and to those thinking like, oh, what type of spirit teams I can be able to get together to, whether it's like meant for attack or defense or I forgot the other title on that. Jeez, again, mine's been warped right now. But thankfully, though, the game allows you to kind of like press the Y button for suggestions for like either your primary spirit, which is the one that you're able to level up, or your support spirits. So, and those cannot be leveled up, but they can be gone through. And so there have been times where I'm like, I don't feel like cycling through, and I know you can cycle through things like names recently used, and you can save your spirit teams. But I will say most of the time, I will usually stick with one spirit team. For instance, for some of my attack ones, I had the X Parasites from Metroid Fusion, and I could level that one up. And it ended up, I was thinking, like, oh, is it going to turn into the SAX? No, it turns into Nightmare, the biological machine from Fusion that basically infected, and also was part of Metroid Other M as well, briefly. I would just depending on the situation, because you're facing these characters where they're like, hey, there'll be levels like, hey, there'll be poison floor, electric floor, fire floor. And sometimes I'll find ways to like, hey, I'll put a spirit that has one of them says like immunity to that. And there'll be some fights that are just what is it? They're stamina battles. So I would basically put a spirit in there where it says that gives me extra stamina to begin with. And I just like some of the extra clever things that they do with this one. And I know this was talked on a podcast. I think it was on NBC, but one of the spirit battles is Ness's dad. And from Ness's dad, and it's just this pixelated sprite of the phone from Earthbound, and the character that you fight in there, it's an invisible Solid Snake. So the reason being, yeah, you're fighting your invisible dad.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've heard some other particularly as equally creative ones. So
I saw the
just
one,
from like the vast amount of spirits in there, I am looking forward just to see all the different
oh
creative
yeah,
ways they put these characters, which clearly aren't the cast,
yeah.
into that.
There is one I forgot. One of a certain Pokemon that has Charizard, but it's a giant Charizard, but he's always has super spicy curry. So you had a giant Charizard, and he always throwing out all this. And then there'd be certain like support spirits where it's like, hey, it'll have like these hostile assist trophies. So I could be starting a game off, and I'd just be going fine, fine, fine. But then again, the assist trophy just come out of nowhere and just kill me. So, but yeah, all these are pretty good. I have definitely encountered some guest bosses in this one, but I won't spoil them for the sake of it. But I do know going in there is a cutscene middle of the way through, and it's good. And I haven't gotten to the end, but from what everybody tells me, it's worth it in the end when you get to it. As far as a surprise.
So just double check. Have you seen the middle cutscene? You said there's one in the middle.
I just know there's a middle cutscene. That's
okay.
It.
So there's a middle one and an end one. I've heard the end one is worth it. But I don't know any more than that, which is good. So I can't tease you.
I'm just glad I've avoided spoilers.
Knowingly or not.
Yeah, I'm just glad I've avoided spoilers pretty much as it is.
Yeah, same. So yeah, that's a good point. I should probably get cracking in spirits mode so it remains happy.
I know it can be 10 hours to complete straight away, but I think it's like something 25-ish, whatever, to kind of 100% it. And that's unless if I'm actually using spirits. I do have a few legendary spirits that I got, and the first one I got, I forgot it was from who's the one other girl from, like I forgot, from Icarus Uprising.
From so not Palatina.
No, not Palatina.
Already,
yes, that one. It was a support spirit, and it was
okay.
Yeah, and boy, was that hard to get. Like, I think by my 14th, like my 10th, like third try, I was thinking like, this is tough. And I play as Marth because with his dancing blade, I'm able to like, hey, if you get at least the tip of his blade, you know, just to hit right like your enemy, you're gonna have an automatic KO. And luckily, though, when I was like, you're 100% right, one more hit from this, and I'd be gone. I got it right there, and I just dropped my controller, going like, I did it finally, saved it right there.
Very nice.
But I'm enjoying every bit of this right now. I mean, I know I can understand why some people feel like with some of these battles that they have, it just feels almost samey. Like, hey, defeat this certain enemy or defeat this. I really kind of wish, kind of like in event modes where it would say like, hey, you have to defeat this enemy specifically with this item, or you have to do this. That would go a little bit more deeper instead of like, hey, this person is like the jumps really crazily. Things like I just wish the end result was more than just KOing them. I really feel like, well, I mean, and you have to KO them. I just wish there was other different ways to KOing them. And I know you have items, but it just, I wish it was more specific as far as these. The concept of the spirit mode's fine. I just wish more of the stuff you saw from event matches, it would have been fun and fine, because like, hey, you got to beat this thing in so and so amount of minutes, or you got to survive for this. But it's no, and again, I'm enjoying my time with it, and I will say it's best in short little bursts.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. And the other thing is, although I've only spent a very little time with the game, from what I'm hearing from others, it sounds like the general consensus is that like the core idea is very cool, but it might be spread a bit too thinly to make it as long as it is.
It's ambitious, but I will say I'm having a little bit more time than I had, better time than I had with Subspace Emissary. And, you know, it just, like, that one was ambitious, but again, it just turned into a bit of a, like, really a bit of a dumbed down type of, like, a Kirby adventure game. I mean,
yeah, the actual moment-to-moment gameplay is not what people remember of Subspace Emissary. They just remember the cutscenes. But the actual platforming and attacking of just very generic enemies, which aren't from any Nintendo franchises, is kind of the opposite of what Spirits is, which is pulling from as many games as possible with Spirits. Even things, you know, outside of the 70+ character roster, because it's pulling from almost 2,000 obscure characters, which just been, you know, impersonated by these other characters. So I like the idea. I obviously have to report back next time on what I find. But something I wanted to talk about before we wrap this up is in the vault. We knew it was going to be there, but the sound test mode.
Oh yes.
I actually have been using it already, and it's
have you been using it as your oversized iPod, your oversized iPhone iPod?
only kind of. I've taken it outside and I've put it on a kickstand with Joy-Cons and pockets, and I've used it to play music, and that's worked well. But yeah, just the fact it's organized to in-game series, and you can, it's nice. It's a really good just selection, even outside of this game, just to be like, let's go into this game series, let's see what they go. Oh, that's cool game. Oh, that's a really cool remix of this thing I like. Just play it. And just you discover the amount of like new remixes for all these like great songs, and it just kind of it's a constant reminder of just how much dedication and like attention to detail and like going above and beyond. They did not have to like put in a new remix for Wii Sports. It's like there's so many like of these obscure games which you recognize the tune for, but it's like, how did they justify the budget for making this original remix of this song in particular? It's not even based on any particular new character. It's just clearly they had a passion for this music, and they wanted to build this collection, and that was it.
Yeah, I really want to see it behind. I want to be a fly in the wall of like Sakurai, how he was able to kind of get this licensing and all this done, like especially the second time around. Like, hey, I want every character in this one. You're like, okay, that's a tall task, and by God, he's done it. He has done it, and really, that's one thing I want to say to kind of end in this is just where do they go from here?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Where
they've called it Ultimate. So I guess the question is, like, the first immediate question: will Sakurai lead another Smash Bros. Game?
Well, knowing from what his past comments and where he says like, "Oh, this would be the last one," or like I think he even said during Brawl that would be the last one. Like this is, I personally though, the man deserves a rest. He deserves all the rest in the world. I know during the development of this one, he wasn't killing himself like he did with for Smash for Wii U and 3DS. But to me, if like, and this is me being greedy. It's like, can I get a Kid Icarus Uprising sequel, please? That's all I want.
Apparently, he had a statement on that recently, or was asked about it at least.
Oh, what did he say? I missed out on it.
He said, very unlikely that will get a modern remake.
Oh, dang.
Along those words, obviously.
And I liked it on
paraphrasing
3DS.
there, but yeah.
3DS. I want another thing from it. But other than that, it just it's yikes. I mean,
where would they go if they were? It's tricky because they would either have to keep building on top of this, which wouldn't be the end of the world. It makes a very, very solid foundation. They could literally, not an easy job, but keep securing all the licenses and then add a couple extra characters on top. They could go down that route. The other route is much more drastic and going, all right, new engine, new set of characters, but then you're releasing a product with probably 20 to 30 characters.
Which I think at this point where you figure out like, all right, which of these more obscure characters or which some of these we're going to keep or which are we going to reintroduce? Because do you even think Smash would go a route of being like as a fighting game, but being like more like, say, along the lines of like, I don't know, like Street Fighter or Dragon Ball Fighters or something? Like, would Sakurai or even anybody else go like, hey, let's do something like this, but take a spin on it? Or would that be too much of a, I don't know, would that be tricky. Would that be sacrilege? To like,
no, I don't think it'd be sacrilege. I don't think it's impossible that they would come out and with a game which was, really leaning into, say, the esports scene and not be the party game which the series has been before. I think it's possible. I don't think it's what will happen though. I think Smash Bros will kind of stay as primarily a game which people can jump in and just have fun with some crazy characters, but with depth underneath. But yeah, in terms of, I think it's gonna be a while. It's tricky. I can't see them actually, releasing a game now with like half the characters of this game, which is I think what they would have to do if they started afresh. So I think this game's going to end up being literally the ultimate game, as in it will be remastered and remixed and slightly added. We're going to have like a 20 editions of Ultimate now for the rest of time.
Oh, jeez.
That's my prediction. This is going to be the Street Fighter 2.
You think it's going to be, we're just going to get Street Fighter Ultimate 2 Turbo or Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Turbo and then Super like super hyper ultimate.
Yeah,
Jesus.
exactly. Yeah, we're gonna have. That's the tricky thing because it's already got ultimate in the name, but that's gonna be the basis of all these
No, I already know.
extensions.
Well, I already know it's going to be basically. I already know what it's going to be when it come when the successor to the Switch is going to be. It's going to be Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Deluxe. There we go.
Well, there we go. Yes, that's the start. Well, what's next? What's the next series?
I don't know, jeez, but
Deluxe.
I guess the kind of end again overall, I've been enjoying my time with this right now, but I did hear some people kind of complain about how Samus feels as far as a character now. I think she's a little bit less floaty or move or like doesn't move as fast, but I don't seem to have the problem. I've mained Samus for ever since the first game of the series, so it's probably that or I'm just not paying attention. Probably I'm not just paying as much attention as I could on there. So but yeah,
from my side, in terms of mains, so it was a bit frustrating unlocking Peach because she is my main or has been my main in Smash, and so starting the game and not having access to her was annoying. But like she feels very similar to how I remember, which is good. But I'm also playing some of the new characters, Inklings, which makes perfect sense for me. But I do like the playstyle in Smash. And also starting to play. I was trying to think else. It's mainly Inklings and Peach, and some randoms in between. But yeah, it's cool to challenge who your main's going to be as well when you got access to some new characters.
Mm-hmm. But again, you know, I aside from Samus, I've done Ridley, Marth a lot more right now, and what else on there? I never did download Corrin on the Wii U DLC or the DLC for that one, and I got a chance to play her or him because female Corrin's the best. I think
female Corrin was the other character I was thinking of just now. I've been playing a bit of female Corrin recently.
I do like how the changes to some of the Smash. Like I did like the change to Yoshi's final smash is instead of him just basically growing a pair of wings, is now you get knocked into a valley of Yoshis and whoever you just get Mufasa to death. I was like, oh, that's being trampled by a bunch of Yoshis. That's scary.
and that's just like pulled directly from the intro of Melee as well.
Yes, it is.
It isn't a direct reference to anything particular apart from Smash itself at this point.
Yep. But overall, though, I'm loving this game. I really am.
Indeed, yeah. I just like every. It's like it. I'm looking forward to just jumping in. It's that kind of pure pleasure of gaming currently.
It is.
It's good when a game like that comes around. It's like, I just have a little bit of free time. I'm just gonna just play some Smash, for the hell of it, not to unlock anything in particular, but just because it's fun to play.
I do want to ask though. Okay, this is kind of going back on the DLC front. Knowing that we have Joker from Persona 5 coming in, the door is pretty much wide open. It seems like.
Yep.
Just give me your most wild, off the wall. Not to say wild, but who you would like to see in the DLC, or you feel like that seems impossible. But I'm just gonna go with my Goku pick. Again, everybody's gonna shame me. I know because I'm just making the connections to Bandai Namco, and I just felt like with this one, I'm like, anything's possible. Heck, I even heard people suggest with Mortal Kombat 11. You know, it's like Sub-Zero or Scorpion could be in this.
Yeah, well, we not to cheat. There was a couple before we mentioned. So you mentioned Sora earlier. I think his chances are getting more and more likely. Also, I think it'd be very cheeky, but possible at this point, have an actual Marvel character with Nintendo publishing Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Spider-Man and all this.
Yeah, like Spider-Man or Iron Man. Like there's some picks which will just work well. Beyond that, possibly, maybe oddly like a character from Ni no Kuni. I think could work quite well.
What was it after the reveal?
And you also got your Studio Ghibli kind of collaboration with Smash Bros, and that would be pretty awesome.
The Studio Ghibli name, or even down there at the bottom, like, oh wow, look at this world. I joked on Twitter. No, somebody joked on Twitter after the Joker reveal. They said, you know what? Just put Gritty in Smash. And for people who don't know, Gritty is the Philadelphia Flyers, the hockey team, their hockey team's new mascot. The first time they had a mascot, I believe, in their 50+ year history, and the mascot's been taking like the internet by storm, and I would say he's the gift that keeps on giving. And I just joked, just put a hockey mascot on there. I don't care.
Yeah, and I got two kind of more realistic answers. One of them is Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes.
That's And did you actually hear the news with No More Heroes? Travis Strikes Again.
No.
What Suda51 said. This was, I think, today or yesterday.
Okay.
He just mentioned that he's in the pre-planning stages, planning of like No More Heroes 3, but it all depends as far as further development is how well Travis Strikes Back or Strikes this one that's coming to the Switch next month, how well that performs.
Well, I'll be doing my part there.
I'm gonna buy.
Whatever that thing is. I'm still not entirely sure. I know it's like some weird collection of like arcade-inspired action games, which are kind of 3D, but there is some sort of Travis story in there as well. I'll be playing through whatever that is, so hopefully that helps with the free. The other character, and this is where I drop it with, in terms of like spirits and some other things, there's been a bit of Shantae love in Smash.
I would like that too, and plus, I'd welcome more female representation in Smash. I feel like that needs to be kind of evened out in terms of that. That's what I feel like more. I would like that.
Yeah, but I mean, because she's not like Shovel Knight's an assist, Trophy Bomb Man's an assist. They got these 3D models. I think anyone who's a spirit who doesn't have a 3D model is game. And so I think Shantae might have a chance because like it seems to be quite a small exclusive group of these Western designed characters who are, especially if they're like in quotes indie. Shantae's in a weird place there, whether she is or not. Like being like having like a couple references already in Smash, so being like noticed in that sense. So I think her chances are quite high for that surprise factor and like this odd pick for other people not expecting.
I totally agree, and I know some people will say like, "Oh, if there were a spirit in here, whatever," that totally emits them. I'm like, I don't think that really does. I think it's just
all the main characters have spirits anyway. So
yeah, but yeah, that's all we think about Smash. I'm loving it, and I hope. Again, we're going to be probably 100% wrong with these characters because everybody was like worried going in, like, oh, it's just going to be generic characters like Goomba or Waddle Dee, and then next thing you know, you're like, here's Joker from Persona 5. What?
Exactly, yeah.
Which, by the way, if Persona 5 does not come to Switch, whatever, after this announcement, I will be shocked.
Yeah, I'll be shocked too. And yeah, I want to play it. Put it on Switch. I shall play it. It's simple.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for us, though.
Yes.
And didn't announce this or didn't say this at the front of the show, so I say it now. This is our last episode for this year. And so we'll have it, obviously, our next episode some point in January. So look out for that. But in the meantime, of course, happy holidays, happy Christmas. Enjoy whatever you do.
And we will have a bonus episode. We will have our Patreon episode before end of the year or Christmas. This episode is definitely coming up before Christmas. But our scheduling we haven't been able to get Colin on his special bonus episode that we're doing. So we're hopefully recording that in the next few days, I believe.
Correct,
so
yeah. The bonus episode will be out this year. And the next proper episode will be out next. Yeah. However, we'll do what we do at the end of the show. We'll let you know how you can get hold of us and anything else we've been up to. And Harrison, how can the fine folks of the internet get hold of you?
You can find me at Twitter at @Milfeld, and if you want to become a Switch friend, my friend code is pinned to the top of that profile. So just send me those sweet, sweet little friend requests, and we'll hopefully be gaming together.
Beautiful. Well, for myself, Twitter is the place as well. LEUVSION is the name you need. I'm not sure where I have my friend code available. I made a tweet about it at some point. Actually, I think it's in my Twitter profile. Yep. There we go. It's there. It's in a friendly place. Jump me a friend request, especially when I play some Smash. And I'll probably fight you as Peach. As a fair warning.
Not in real life. He will fight you. Not in real life. Yeah.
No, I just will throw actual peaches at you. It's the closest representation I can get. But for now, thanks for watching. And this has been Nintendo Voice.
Take care, everyone, and have a happy Merry Christmas and New Year, and we'll see you in 2019.
Thank you, listeners, as well, and good night.